Dayton, Ohio at sundown, and we welcome you to the continuation of our NCAA tournament coverage. Tonight, the 16th seed Morehead State Eagles against the top-seeded Louisville Cardinals. This the first of two games here tonight in the Midwest region. Louisville, the top seed overall. The winner will advance to take on either Ohio State or Siena. That game, the last game scheduled here. Good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Bill Raftery. A quick word, what do you expect?
Well, Morehead State's got to be very smart. They got to approach the 3-second lane and then kick. No quick shots. Of course, Louisville wants to speed it up, turn you over to have their success.
Louisville is the top seed among the 65. First time they've ever been accorded that honor. And here is the head coach at Morehead State, Donnie Tyndall, in his third season as the head coach of his alma mater. And his starting lineups will include Brandon Shingles and DeMonte Harper in the backcourt. Up front, Mays Stallworth, Kenneth Fareed, who is an outstanding rebounder, and then Leon Buchanan, Andre McGee and Jerry Smith in the backcourt for the Cardinals. Williams, Samardo, Samuels, Earl Clark, familiar names all for Rick Pitino, who has led his team to both the Big East regular season and tournament championship, and the top seed among the 65. Ted Valentine, Joe DeMeo, and Terry Weimer are the officials. And tonight's game is brought to you in HDTV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media.
And Vern Lundquist, quick jump there as Louisville goes a little bit.
And out at the point, this is Brandon Shingles, number 15. DeMonte Harper, here's the first jumper of the ball game. And Leon Buchanan, who averages 15, gives Morehead State an early lead.
And Rick Pitino with a little wrinkle. It was a man on the ball. They went to a 2-3 zone open on the foul line.
Jerry Smith looks inside for Clark, gets the ball to him. Skip pass. Williams, bounce pass. Samardo Samuels, he'll go to the free throw line.
Strapped, huh? Go inside, attack.
He's going to be a challenge for Kenneth Fareed tonight, number 35. Fareed, just an outstanding rebounder, had 21 in their opening round game the other night against Alabama State.
That's talented kid, Vernon. He got that first foul. That's a major dilemma. They're going to try and hide him, camouflage. They need him if they're going to prevail.
Samuels gets one more over the course of the season. 67% free throw shooter.
Rick Pitino's an energized guy, and that's what he likes about this team. Those 10-11 deeps, they make free throws or shots. They're immediately ready. Look at the size of Clark on the ball.
And here's the inbound pressure. Now you've got Shingles at 6'3", and he's just dominated. There's the steal. Earl Clark, no. And that's out of bounds, touch last.
They're going to be looking over the shoulder quite a bit. And of course, they played earlier in the year. They struggled in the second half of their encounter.
They did play back before the turn of the calendar. Rick Pitino said his team hit 27% in the first half. There's the first three of the game.
And this kid is playing great. Smith can shoot the ball. Rick feels he's expanded his game.
Now Shingles, number 15, guarded by Smith. There's the trap.
He's a lefty, can make good decisions.
Well, Samuels altered the shot. McGee has it, right side. Smith looks for Clark. Offense. Nice job of taking the charge by Mays Stallworth. Terrific.
Good heads-up play. Clark could have kept the dribble alive and just put that extended little finger roll as he got to the rim.
Now this time there is no guarding of the inbound pass.
They do mix it up. I mean, you got to have your head up and be alert. And with all these blue shirts down, I always think it's dangerous when you have your whole team down. It's easier to press. Here they got too much confusion.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have people down, post a guy.
Yeah, they had 5 in the backcourt. There's Donnie Tyndall, third year as the head coach, took over a team that have won only 4 and has his team. It's only the third time in Morehead State history that the team has won 20 games. They're 20 and 15. Samuels. Clark. Back outside, Terrence Williams.
The other way, I believe.
It's going to be on Samuels, I think. Yes.
Louisville foul number 24.
And for those of you expecting to see Southern Cal Boston College out of Minneapolis in the Midwest region, that game is coming up shortly. We'll get you the tip on time.
Getting your composure is very important for Morehead. They got to beat the timeline, run some offense, make Louisville play some D.
Pretty bounce pass for Reed.
How about that? Excellent execution, and that's what they're going to have consistently.
That ties it at 4, opening 2 minutes of the ball game.
As Tyndall was telling us, he's read every book that Pitino has read. He must be exhausted. Or written, I should say.
Well, Pitino's read them too, I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
here's Clark.
Proofread.
Nice, soft goal.
Yeah, he's some talent. He puts minutes together that are extraordinary.
And again, the pressure with no guarding of the inbound pass. I have a feeling these guys have worked on this.
Oh, you know they drilled and drilled.
Absolutely. Nice kick out. There's the extra pass, right side, but good recovery by McGee defensively. They find Fareed, but he's too deep under the basket. Here come the Cardinals. Samuels leads the way, no numbers, right side. Entry pass, Samuels, good.
And how about the big guy running to the box, showing good foot speed, and Clark, the contribution unselfishly.
Louisville leads it 8-4. May Stallworth, number 1. Junior out of Elizabethtown, Kentucky. These two teams separated by only 136 miles. Morehead State to the east of Lexington.
Nice pass by Shea. He can get into the lane. Look at the quick hands there by McGee.
Andre McGee takes it away. Again, no numbers, but look at Samuels running the court.
And he's down here.
Yeah,
good call,
there you are, boy.
And boy, that makes it awfully tough. Before the defense is set, the big guy's on the box. That is great execution.
Terrific hustle by Samardo Samuels.
Just get the puppies going. You can see the bigs, Fareed late, Tardy, and all of a sudden you got your little people against a skyscraper.
Preston Knowles comes on to replace Jerry Smith. And Knowles, a defensive stalwart. Samardo Samuels at the line.
And Vern, the one thing that Rick has, he's got 4 guys that play the guard position interchangeable and aggressively, particularly on the defensive end.
Whoops. That one looked off the mark from the get-go.
Lefty can get in the lane. That's what he's going to have to do out here.
Look at McGee all over him.
He's a harasser.
Yes. Back to Shingles. This is Williams defensively. Jumper. Nope, not there. Terrence Williams comes down with the rebound. And again, Samardo Samuels is so quick down the court.
Sure is. And look at this power he's taking advantage of. Too many guys on the glass.
Yeah, he and Clark both fighting for it. Preston Knowles, pump fake, jumper. No. Rebound, DeMonte Harper, number 22.
Once again, they want to attack when it is there, but don't be reckless.
Look inside. There's the jumper from the free throw line, in and out. And Williams with another rebound. That's his second.
He does a great job rebounding and bringing it up. He's got that point forward once again into the box. Oh, great look by Clark.
You get the idea that the plan right now is to get it inside?
I think so. Tino wants some power basketball to complement that full court pressure.
First time in a quarter century Morehead State has been in the tournament. Last time the opponent was Louisville. 1984, March 16th, Louisville dominated the game. Coach Denny Crum led them to the Sweet 16 before they fell to the eventual Final Four team, Kentucky. The final in that one, 72-59. Denny Crum is, and the head coach at Morehead State then, Wayne Martin, from 1978 to 87. Wayne Martin currently the general manager of WKYT in Lexington, our CBS affiliate.
How about that?
Yeah.
Quite an accomplishment in 2 areas.
Samuels at the line.
Remember, we're saying he's had more touches than I in recent memory.
Yes.
They have so many other weapons, but he's running the floor, posting up, and they look at these tapes and they decide, listen, let's attack where they're vulnerable, and they certainly don't have bigs.
Here's another substitution. Edgar Sosa, one of those 4 guards that Bill referenced a moment ago, and Andre McGee gets a rest. Sosa started much of the year, and then McGee has come on late season and played very, very well.
He will be remembered forever, right, with that deep shot against Kentucky early in the year.
Oh, yes. Sosa, 27% three-point shooter, and he hit that one from about 35 feet out to give them the win.
And waved off. They were going to run a ball screen. Here's the full court pressure. Sosa just took it himself.
In the corner. Mays Stallworth for three.
Oh, that's his game. Get him some touches over there. He can do some damage. Early offense, spread.
Leading three-point shooter for Morehead State. That's his 84th make of the year.
Now, the one thing about, you see Clark on the floor, he's so tall and can see things, can make some plays and decisions.
George Good has come on the floor now, number 22. So they're going to give him a go, and there's Earl Clark.
Speaking of Good,
Yeah,
he is
right.
good. Because he found that short corner. They took advantage with ball rotation, great movement.
14-7 with 14:40 to go. Left side. Now the right. Another miss from in close. It's Fareed with a rebound. Back outside. Shingles is fouled and will go to the line.
Should be Knowles on the reach in.
Well, these two cities, these two schools rather, are very close together, and they're not far away from Dayton. 152 miles for Louisville, 193 for Morehead, and between the two, Morehead and Louisville, 136 miles. How about a tournament that has three teams from Kentucky in, and the one from Lexington's not among them?
It's extraordinary that it happened. Or has happened. Fareed fell asleep on that inbounds pass for a turnover. You got to get shots so you get a chance to rebound.
Changing in for Louisville, Samardo Samuels.
Samardo Samuels with a brief rest. George Good heads over to the bench. And here comes Edgar Sosa out of New York City, brings it up.
And he can be so good at times, you know, making good decisions. And I asked Rick about it too. He feels he's playing better.
Knowles from way outside. And it's chased down by Morehead. This is DeMonte Harper, Stallworth for three.
That's their game in the early. They don't mind him taking it. Just don't want to get in up and down, woo-woo kind of contest.
Samuels with the rebound for the Cardinals. They're up by 7.
Straight up man this trip now. They take advantage of Fareed in the box area.
Sosa, nice, and one.
How about that step through? The box loaded left. He took advantage. Nobody come over to assist. A little strength. And how about the step through? A fancy footwork with the red tap shoes.
I think he had an idea where the camera was located.
A little New York.
Goodness.
A little New York. Oh, these kids are so educated. It's incredible.
Edgar Sosa at the line,
Yeah.
15 seconds of fame, huh?
Nothing self-aggrandizing about that. Here's Sosa at the line. Oh, goodness.
Well, as long as you back it up. Is that what they say?
You bet. If you can do it, it ain't bragging, right? The old saw.
Jared Swapshire checks in for Earl Clark.
Swapshire, he's going deep into his bench early.
You know, it's amazing. You know, he does it with confidence. I mean, he'll get into the 11th, 12th guy. You lace him up, you got a shot with Rick.
This is Swapshire. Beg your pardon. I put an extra SH in there.
Don't say it too fast.
No.
We'll both be out of work.
Brandon Shingles, number 15. The quick hands. Preston Knowles. Here's Williams way out in the perimeter, guarding Brandon Shingles. In the lane, up, and good.
And how about that? They took the left, which is something watching tape. He loves his left, but pretty footwork, drop step to the middle. And on the left side, you've got to get some assistance over here just to rake and help out your partner. Everybody's sort of standing, uncharacteristic of a Louisville team.
Foul is on Terrence Williams. That's his first. And a substitution now. Jerry Smith back on the floor. And Preston Knowles on the bench. Here's Shingles shooting one.
And Vern, you've done a lot of games, a lot of athletic events. Have you ever had anybody like Williams come over? He comes over, checks in, sees how we're feeling.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a personality. And you know, you read the notes about what he was like when he first came in. He didn't really talk that much, didn't bother anybody. The growth of these kids that get 4 years in an institution is incredible.
Athletically and socially.
No question.
You know, and Terrence Williams is a great example. He's got an ebullient personality. We did the Marquette game a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he stopped by to say hi and did so again this afternoon, or this evening.
He's friendlier than the rest of our staff, I'll tell you that.
Too strong. Rebound for Reed. Again, Kenneth Fareed out of Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, great story what this kid's done too. I mean, both on and off. He loves to rebound.
Jumper. Tried to use the glass. Put back no good. Jerry Smith has it. Sosa calls for it. Sosa's got it. Traffic.
He lost it.
Yeah.
And that's that over-penetration he gets into once in a while. That would have been a nice fan dribble.
Morehead State, located in Morehead. School enrollment of 9,000. First time in a generation. Look at that bottom line.
How about that guy, huh? One of the greats.
Our colleague, Phil Sims, he called Donnie Tyndall when they, here's the long pass. Williams is there, and boy, did he affect that. Wow.
A nice hustle. Now, look at all the white shirts. They have coverage. Speaking of football.
Oh, yes.
Not too many people covered Phil well with his great career.
Brandon Shingles. Just to finish the point, Phil called and wished them well, left a voice message for Donnie Tyndall after they beat Austin Peay in double overtime. And then this week called, and Tyndall asked Phil if he could record the conversation, and he played it for his team before the play-in game the other night.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah.
Phil's special guy, great family.
Nice. Fareed. 5-point game, 11:25 to go.
And they get a timeout now. Rick Pitino not real happy, but Fareed out of the gate a little bit. Only the one foul. That's important for Morehead.
First round, Midwest region. Cardinals lead by 5. They've hit 6 of 13. 11 of those have come from the front court. Fareed leads Morehead State with 4 and 4. CBSSports.com covers every moment of the madness. Get the latest expert analysis plus live scoring and stats from every game. It's all at CBSSports.com.
Don't squeeze it.
Yes.
That is not alert on that pass.
DeMonte Harper, left side now. This is Steve Peterson is on the floor. Hero of that double overtime win over Austin Peay when he pump faked and hit a shot just about like that. But that one doesn't go.
He'll go down in history, right? We talked about Sosa with Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, that got them into this tournament. And then they had the opening round game, the win over Alabama State here the other night before a crowd of 11,000.
Another inadvertent little turnover.
Yes, there's Clark, and he's going to get called for the foul.
Not catching the ball. Smith on that one. Maybe a little hand in there to deter.
Second foul on Clark. Time has been called. Louisville by 5. 10:35 to go first half. Donnie Tyndall, third year as a head coach.
Fun meeting with him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about meeting Rick Pitino at a 5-star basketball camp in the 80s, right?
Yes, indeed. Garfinkel's, wasn't it?
Yeah, Howard. Because Rick was a counselor and clinician at that over the years. Started a lot of guys in the coaching business.
7 unanswered now for Morehead State. The Eagles have climbed back within 3. Jerry Smith, there's the double, the trap. He's in trouble.
Nobody came to him, and he picked it up in Death Valley as well.
Now Williams. Samuels being fronted by Fareed.
Nice help on the backside there as well. Buchanan very alert in case they lob.
Swakshire. Well, that'll draw a derision.
Rick just walks away. You know, it's interesting to watch Rick Pitino. He gets upset at defensive lapses. Now that shot, a lot of coaches would get maybe a little upset with.
Right.
You know, he knows it wasn't a great shot, but just play the other end. We'll work ourselves through it. Jerry Tarkanian was one of those guys too. A great timeout with 2 left in the scored situation, so they get the full 10.
9:56 to go, first half. Vitamin Water Revive is asking fans to revive their game-winning moment at ncaa.com/revive for a chance to win a trip to this year's NCAA Men's Final Four.
And to revive your game, don't pick the ball up. First Louisville at half court, and then Morehead State in the back court. Goodness.
Brandon Shingles, DeMonte Harper. Here's Fareed, tries the skip pass, and it found its target. I'm not so sure about that one.
The stalwart, they really get out on. They know he can shoot the ball. Good hands.
Steal, Jerry Smith, 1-on-2, but he's got the speed and he's got an elbow.
How about the strength? I like the ward off though. Protecting your ball. Pretty play.
There's a little V-shaped bone in your ribs as I go to the basket.
As long as you don't guess. Once again, the pressure in the backcourt, everybody up half court looking around, sniffing to see if they can intercept.
Shingles underneath, off the glass. Oh,
can he elevate? Springs.
Fareed with the hops.
Boy, the Jersey guys can get up for well, at least one of them.
Some never go to bed. 8:50 to go. We've got a 3-point game.
And the zone has kept them. No foul problems, decent rebounding.
McGee from outside rattles it home.
3-point basket, Andre McGee.
Andre McGee had that brilliant effort in the win over Marquette. Came through with 16 points in that one. And then, of course, Louisville wins the Big East regular season and the tournament and wind up with the #1 seed in the country. Hey, how about that?
It's a maze, Stallworth, huh? A nice kick. They got people on the perimeter that can handle it and knock down shots.
8:05 to go, first half. Stallworth has 2 threes for 6 points. Well.
Unbelievable, huh? Some of the mistakes Louisville's making with their passing, very unusual.
That's 5 turnovers for the Cardinals.
The understanding of when to go strong and how about dragging people to you, and then on the weak side, the ability to spring burn. How about that? Take it with you.
Cecil Brown is now on the floor for Morehead State, #2. It's Brown, Stallworth, DeMonte Harper, Fareed, and Steve Peterson. This is Peterson, number 32.
And Brown's got to get in the lane, hit a floater, can run a little point. Oh, look at that beautiful stroke this kid has.
My gosh.
It is gorgeous. They do a lot of nice things against man. Slap back threes to him. You better hug him.
Stallworth's 3rd 3 of this game has notched it at 22.
Now you got a game.
Williams rifles it, taken away. 3-on-2. Peterson up and under, no.
And once again, the running to the floor by Samuels. Astounding, and now he's back down.
Yes, he is, and he calls for it. Swap shirt, no.
And he had the big guy in the box, too. You know,
sure did.
Bust into the box after a guy runs like that. Feed the big fella.
6:52 to go, first half. #1 seed Louisville, #16 seed Morehead State. This afternoon we saw Pittsburgh struggle against ETSU. There's the cutback, and it's good. And at 6:38 in the first half, the Morehead State Eagles, in their first tournament in 25 years, have a 2-point lead.
Now, which...
Mays Stallworth, 3 of 4 from 3-point range.
Well, you know from looking at tape, this guy can get some nylon going, but the execution, extraordinary from the outside, but inside, a great pass to the box, and just in the right position because he dragged them towards the tip. Terrific.
Terrence Williams will inbound for Louisville. Here's Samardo Samuels. and McGee.
And this is about time Williams starts to assert himself, I think. He's the kind of guy that can make some plays, whether it's scoring or finding people. Nice defense.
How about that? Peterson over the back.
Heads up, they are alert.
On the floor.
Pep band for Morehead State, reason to play well. Morehead State, the 16th seed over Louisville, 24-22. A three-pointer by Mays Stallworth gave them the lead. This afternoon, Pitt had to struggle to outlast ETSU, a 16 versus a 1. And here is Louisville. They had a 10-point lead at 17-7, but the three-pointers have gotten Morehead State back in this one. Here's Sosa, unconscious.
Amazing. I think that was set up to get Williams the ball on the foul line, but Sosa, the free spirit he is, drills it.
Sosa puts Louisville back up by 1.
There's that pressure. They're going to try and get you to cough it up.
This is Shingles, guarded by Preston Knowles, who's back in the game. No.
They're going to the well.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel and Company will take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the tournament. They'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Donnie Tyndall with a little full court pressure that time, showing a little wrinkle.
Knowles looks inside for Samuels. Fareed now playing behind him. There's Terrence Williams with the drive, and Samuels with the putback.
If you get good shots, he can dominate. They just don't have the bodies up front to contest, but once again, when he needs something, Williams drives it, finds somebody.
Samuels has 9 of Louisville's 27. They're back on top by 3. Sosa guarding DeMonte Harper. Now this is Brandon Shingles, the junior. Under 5 in the first half.
And step. Yeah, good call too by Teddy Valentine. The pressure took away the vision. Well, the power of the big guy. I mean, he is just tough to keep off the glass. Strong, effortless. I just love the speed he's run the floor and how he presents himself. He's been exerting, which is terrific. Now they got to find him.
Samardo Samuels, the freshman from Trelawney, Jamaica. Swapshire getting extensive minutes here in the first half. Here's Williams.
Once again, the play.
There you are.
He loves to make a pass. I mean, the kid has a great feel. He's hopping at the top of the key now, energizing.
Knowles now 45 of 100 from three-point range. And this is an 8-0 run for Louisville. They've reestablished a 6-point lead. Their largest lead of the ball game was 10.
Not good there. Harper can run the
he got it back.
Got away with it.
And then the roll doesn't come.
Well, you got to be careful in traffic against Louisville. You got to protect it, and pick it up on the pinch, and give it.
In the opening round game, they defeated Alabama State, and Fareed had 21 rebounds in that ball game.
And that was kicking Stallion Sims that he blocked, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. He's got quickness too in his elevation, which is another area, and he goes 5 and 6 feet as a rebounder. A lot of guys are area rebounders. This kid, he'll pursue it across the lane.
Is there a niche in the NBA for a guy whose specialty is just rebound?
I will say this: Chuck Daly, the great coach, Hall of Famer with the Pistons and other areas, he said if you can do one thing well, very well, there's a spot for you.
Dennis Rodman comes to mind.
Yeah, perfect illustration.
Loves Chuck Daly, and we wish our dear friend well down in Florida. Chuck is battling cancer, as I think most of you know, but he's fighting it.
Last year, more than
All right, Greg, thank you. And the steal on the attempted long pass. Samuels, who's done just about everything in this game. Now he fights off Fareed. Outside, Swapshire off the glass, no good. And a foul called underneath, I believe. Or was it on the shot?
I think it was on the shot.
Okay.
The shots are really stepping up, you know.
Shingles. Yes, he is.
Yeah, not afraid to do some damage outside that time with the bounce.
Shooting 2 for Louisville.
Freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Rick's at that point too, Bernie. They're bringing guys along. You know, developing as the season progresses. You know, the mainstays are going to get their minutes, but Good's a good example. The 4 guards we alluded to. Shropshire.
One more. 3:44 to go before the halftime break. And a 5-point Louisville lead.
How about Rick talking about Donnie coming over to his practice for
right.
individual sessions, never thinking, you know, at the end of the year they would be playing the tournament.
Yeah, Donnie Tyndall in his 3rd year, Bill alluded to it earlier, he's read everything that Rick Pitino has written, and he called and asked if he could bring his staff over to Louisville early in the season and just watch, look at the facilities and see what's going on.
And now he's using it against them. Or trying to.
Donnie Tyndall, who played for Morehead State for 3 years back in the early 90s. And there's Buchanan, who's not been much of a factor here in the first half.
And they need him to do some damage, Vern. He can ring the bell. Double-figure score.
Yep. Averaging 15 for the year. He had 14 in that play in the, I beg your pardon, opening round game.
And now Williams now against the man-to-man. Just use that little brush screen and loads it up. It's like a bad dream, though, when you play Louisville. They just come at you. Don't take. I mean, they're
I'm watching this thinking of Nolan Richardson in Arkansas.
Yeah, very much so. But that little kiss delivery.
Remember they called it 40 minutes of hell?
Yeah, well, when you play Louisville, it feels worse, I think. Buchanan lighting it up now.
Now Buchanan has 8. 2:30 to go. Sosa offense.
Yeah, well, you don't need it. See, that's where he gets in trouble. And right away, Rick gives it the hook. You know, just trying to force the issue. You know, it's funny. You don't want to take that away from a guy like Sosa. That activity, the involvement, but he's got to use better judgment.
I just happened to have my eyes on Sosa. The minute he got up, he didn't look at the bench. He just headed for it.
Smart.
He didn't look at Pitino, not for a second. He said, "I'm about 7 people down from Rick Pitino right now."
Well, in Kentucky, they know what blinders are. That's what he had on.
2:15 to go.
And they get the little small change to reach in by McGee.
Well, we mentioned the great respect that Donnie Tyndall, the head coach at Morehead State. Look at this picture. This is from 1992 when Pitino was the coach at Kentucky with the Unforgettables, and Donnie Tyndall was a guard. That was a few pounds ago. And in the game, he said, "I had 5 points and 3 assists. I killed him."
You know, the respect he has, and of course everybody in basketball does for this guy. You know, you learn from others and you learn from the great ones.
Donnie Tyndall began his coaching career at St. Catherine's Community College. They went 30-5 and won a junior college championship. Tim Floyd was among those who was attracted by his accomplishment, recommended him for a job with John Brady at LSU.
And the other thing that he told us was he ran at St. Catherine's everything Rick Pitino ran, to a T.
Right.
There's great respect for Tim Floyd, as you mentioned, and John Brady now at Arkansas State said he taught him about dealing with people and personalities, and a great deal of respect for that coach who did a great job at LSU.
Tim Floyd is now the coach at Southern California, and they're playing tonight in the tournament against Boston College. And they are leading by 2. Are we a full information group or not?
Stay tuned. I would go to Samuels just because Fareed is so important to this team.
Look at this. Nice job of getting possession, but then Swapshire couldn't save it. 34-31. They will not go away.
Terrific compliment to these kids.
Yes, it is. Just terrific. They lost their first 6 games of the season. Among them, a 79-41 defeat to these Louisville Cardinals, but fought back and won the Ohio Valley Conference tournament to get in. Jerry Smith with a quick hand. 8 on the shot clock.
See the foot speed there of Cecil Brown. You're going to get a little rest now. Come back with your mainstay, Brandon Shingles.
Also Brandon Shingles for Morehead State.
And the ball will be inbounded now with 8 on the shot clock.
It's a tough defense to run because they'll man-to-man you in the back of this 2-3 zone. To him, nice challenge. Oh, even if it went, that is a big-time delivery. DeMonte, a bazaar for Harper.
You know, I've learned over the years I never can ignore what you say. I've got to pay attention. Swapshire.
Pretty good play there.
Yeah.
He's frustrated. Just a great effort. Buchanan was lighted up at the other end, and the personality of the coach. But look at this challenge, and he's still with that fadeaway, able to get that net.
Now here's that last call on Buchanan, and the head coach. Oh no!
He's got a charm about him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Absolutely. One more.
And very respectful of his elders, I noticed with you. In total awe.
Yeah. 49 seconds remaining.
And big on the ball. Shropshire steps up, take away vision.
Top seed Louisville getting all it needs from 16 seed Morehead State. A 2-point game in the final 45 seconds. Louisville did have a 10-point lead at 17-7. May Stallworth had a 3 that gave Morehead State a 24-22 lead. Cardinals came back with 8 unanswered, but these Eagles in the tournament for the first time in 25 years have fought back, and they are very close with 22 seconds to go.
Yeah, tough shot, forced into by harassing defense.
That wasn't a great defense.
No,
Great possession, was it?
Not at all. And now they got the hammer. Louisville, that is. Last shot.
Entry pass. Samuels.
They got the charge.
Offense.
Wow, what weak side recovery. Talk about speed and coverage. I don't think it was the right call, but I just love, I don't know, Vern. That was a bang-banger. I mean, either way, either coach is going to be mad. You know, he was awfully close. God, but what effort. And a tough one getting number 2 on Samardo Samuels.
So now with 5.6, the opportunity to get the final shot of the first half. 5.6 left.
And Louisville's very good at keeping the ball in front of them. They do not let you turn the corner. Nice hands. Tough. Smart team.
An anticlimactic end of the half. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, thanks very much.
Morehead State, the 16th seed. It's 35-32. And our exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament will continue after this message. And a word from your local in the middle of Ohio. I'm sorry, I'm pausing just a little bit because Teddy Valentine just came over to give us some information, which is relevant.
He gave us a bench warning.
Yeah, that's right.
I think both coaches have gotten bench warnings.
Yes.
But he was saying that they can now give them a technical foul if they come out on the floor.
Ted, the lead official here, just wanted us to be aware that both Louisville and Morehead State had gotten bench warnings.
You look good in your waiter there, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, let's take a look at the in-game box score powered by CBS College Sports Network. Cable's home for NCAA March Madness. Stallworth, 3 of 5 from three-point range.
And Vern, he's got to be happy. I mean, they've done a great job. Drive, draw, kick, good rebounding, fumbling, a couple in a row mistakes by Louisville. Got some energy going, but the ability to shoot that deep one by May Stallworth has excited this team, this building. And right now, you need T. Williams. You notice the turnovers. I mean, that's a major issue. But T. Williams and Clark have to step it up. They have not given the numbers necessary for Louisville to control this game.
Earl Clark back on the floor. He played only 8 minutes in the first half. And Swapshire got the majority of minutes at that spot, 12. Back outside, Jerry Smith, penetration, kicks it out. T. Williams, no. He's only hit 1 field goal in the ballgame.
Dead ball situation, they're able to set up their press, however.
Opening moments of the second half and a violation of some sort.
They're saying he ran? Yeah, I say.
Oh, yeah, he moved.
Wow.
Right?
Teddy Valentine on top of it. Saying he had a dead ball situation.
Had to remain stationary, and Valentine called it. So that turnover gives Louisville a fresh opportunity. Here's Clark to find underneath, and Williams gets the basket.
And that's what they need, that kind of passing. Anybody free on the box area, take advantage of it. Morehead State's just done a great job handling the pressure, getting into the half court, getting the shot selection that they so desire, and just very effective with their patience, not jacking them up and getting an up and down game.
Entry pass, Leon Buchanan, guarded by Andre McGee.
And he can make some shots outside Buchanan.
McGee went for the steal, didn't get it, leaves the open man, and it's chased down and touched last by Louisville.
I think underneath there, maybe McGee landed out of bounds. Feeling there was some sort of a force issue. Yeah, just good hustle here. You can easy call for the official too.
Turn around. Boy, Williams defensively was a presence on that attempt. Now here's Terrence Williams. Nice pass underneath. Samuels, little trouble finding the handle. And there's Fareed up for his 8th rebound of the ball game.
I read something where he said everything that comes off the glass, I feel is like a pass to me. He just devours anything off that tin.
Left side, pump fake, jumper. No.
Numbers.
Williams, Clark is open at the other end. Fareed hustles back and makes the intercept.
Didn't get enough air underneath it. Yeah, didn't get the proper trajectory. Had to look.
And so Morehead State playing in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1984 when they lost to a Louisville team coached by Denny Crum.
Nice pass. Sure, pull the string.
Here's Williams for the Cardinals. Smith looks inside. Clark comes outside. Up and under and good. Smarto Samuel.
Well, it seems when they run it properly, it's easy. They had the high-low setup if they wanted to use Clark. Just getting it there has been the problem.
Samuels with 11 points. The lead back to 6 now. Louisville did have a 10-point lead at 17-7 midway through the first half.
Look at this defense. Look at the run out now. Just
here's Jerry Smith. Well, he takes the easy route.
And McGee just looked over at us saying, that was pretty good.
I know.
They're trying. They love their defense. They love their Cardinals. A little more aggressive on the defensive end. That ignites this team. Sets you up, strip you, get your partner in the open floor. Smith to the tin. Louis caution.
We're back in Dayton, and on that Morehead State bench here is the most cherished assistant of them all, Donnie's daughter, Donnie Tyndall's daughter, Little Taylor. And boy, does she pay attention to what is going on in the ball game.
She's a fan. Daddy's assistant. Cute as a button, too.
Got a special spot on the bench. It's down toward the end, but not that far from what's going on.
Slippage?
Yes.
Yeah. He was by, too, wasn't he?
Oh,
you don't do that against your own. No.
Sometimes it's painful to watch. 41-33, Bill. You said during the break this is a critical time for Morehead State.
A big juncture. I think they got to be solid. The turnover the other end certainly didn't help. But here's some stops now and rebounds.
Chance for a double-digit lead for the second time in the game.
And look at this inside rebounding.
There you are, and a foul shot.
And they got the bookends right around the rim. Clark, such a valuable commodity because he can do so many different things. Here he pins and traps his guy in perfect position. That's just a heady play. Experience, length, and painful for some. Daddy, do something. I don't know how my kids felt. Daddy, quit, they used to say to me.
Get out of here. My partner who coached 11 years at Seton Hall and has made a fortune out of pretending like he wasn't successful. Oh, goodness. $16:25 to go. Morehead hung tough. They actually led 24-22. They were down by only 2 at the break, but then Louisville has emerged here in the second half. Chased down, saved by Morehead State. Eagles have it. There's the dish.
Pretty. Now that's what if they could make it a little of a rattier game, like aggressive and mix it up on that offensive end. The big thing about Louisville is they take away passing lanes with that defense. You've got to use the dribble.
Jerry Smith. Williams looks at Samuels. Williams with the jumper. Yeah.
Big time. And he shakes the head. Get those puppies organized. Now to Seattle. So his family's coming next week, or this Sunday if they get by this one.
Brandon Shingles, the point guard, number 15. This is DeMonte Harper, number 22. There's Samuels defensively, along with McGee.
How about that pass?
Nice find.
And a good job. Fareed just sealed his guy off well enough to get the delivery.
Fareed has 11 points, 8 rebounds. You know, you hear about DeJuan Blair, some of the other good rebounders. Fareed playing in the Ohio Valley Conference doesn't get the publicity, and that one Samuels again. Whoa.
And you're right, the notoriety just isn't there. And he's an extremely effective, world-class rebounder. Nice pass, high-low, last trip by Louisville. Look at the hands.
Taken away again, Andre McGee. 3-on-3 in the corner. Williams 4-3.
Wow, there they go. Deflections started. They chart them. Come from the rear. Active hands because they move the feet to get in position. Now look at Smith trying to turn it into McGee.
Largest lead of the game.
Well, they rattle you, don't they?
Timeout, Morehead State.
Donnie knows you got to get some of those cheap calls, but you get down the floor and get organized. Nylon, T-Will, and the high-low with some strength. Samardo started early, still effective.
This on Demand is streamlining every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game from the tournament live at ncaa.com. Thinking about our conversation with Jim Calhoun a couple of weeks ago in Pittsburgh, and he said, I remember when they were all gymnasiums, no arenas.
And I used to get paid when they were gymnasiums.
You and I remember the fan-shaped backboard.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing how Louisville can spurt that ability to get quick hits because of their defense.
In the corner, Preston Knowles.
That's right. Ooh. And Buchanan again with that one. I guess on the checkout.
Morehead State fouls on number 33.
It was on Buchanan.
Team's second.
They do a nice job, just the discard here, but I just like the ability to get the ball to the right spots right now by Louisville and make good decisions.
Well, you know, the length of the replay gave us a shot at Samuels heaving Buchanan out of bounds.
Right.
Makes you understand the aggressiveness a little bit on the other end.
Need some easy points. I think they may have to open it up just a little. Anything in the open floor, maybe take it, seize the opportunity.
Steve Peterson's back on the floor now. This is not a deep Morehead State lead, and that one, oh, brother.
But the coverage, though, Vern, there weren't many outlets because nobody flashed. They denied the pass back. Smith did a great job. And you see Donnie just recommended where to be. But that's how they rattle you, Louisville.
Six, Samardo,
with the handle. How about that? A blow by, but a big fella. Putting it on the deck. Razzle dazzle.
Samuels has 15, and that is the margin of the lead right now. And there's McGee, who's been all over the place defensively.
Look at this.
Here's Earl Clark.
He was out of bounds. Teddy Valentine. Rick Pitino, look at this. This is just amazing. He started tonight with a bolt, I thought. Running the floor. Just extraordinary. And I think they're going to say, did he have control? What time was on the shot clock? All of that.
Let's see. There was a wonderful, just a little moment there while we were showing the replay. Patino and Valentine laughing with each other. I'm not sure that happens all the time.
I think he was trying to reach him, baby. You didn't really see that, Teddy.
All right.
But they can really get after you. That's what's amazing. That piece of defense that caused the turnover over the bench of Morehead State, it was exceptional, Vern.
Well, we've got a little conversation going on at the scoring table.
No, let's see who's got here. Teddy was right. He got it. And all the staff up there. Steve Mazziello trying to dictate. You got Rick. You got Eric Scott.
Richard Patino.
They're all helping the referees.
And it has been decided. Clark is out of bounds, and Knowles picks up the foul.
And those are the ones they don't want. They want to let the guy dribble and turn him. Here's what you saw before.
You don't. And Valentine had to smile as he walked away. Oh, goodness. .12:47 to go. 19 turnovers forced by Louisville.
What a tough shot. I thought he should have just taken the jumper at the foul line, right? And he's got some offensive skills, Leon Buchanan.
That makes the 52-39 score. Buchanan in the double figures now with 10 points. Mentioned earlier, he averages 15 points per game. There's the jumper from Clark. It's starting to...
too easy, too, right? The pinch post.
Yeah.
And it tells you what a load he is, and that's a compliment, folks. And there's so many weapons he possesses all over the floor. Again, mishandle, and it's falling in right now.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's like the
McGee for three.
It's like the first of the month when the mailman shows up. You know, all those bills. How am I going to handle them? They get it done, don't they? Both ends.
A really good Morehead State pep there. At any rate, near the end of tonight's game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevy will make a contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. Learn more about Chevy innovations at Chevy.com.
And you are a music critic, I might add. You know your jazz and your ensembles.
I have my likes.
Your trios.
I still haven't quite acquired the taste for some of the stuff you hear on radio these days. Some. Peterson.
How do you score right now?
Oh my gosh, look at this. And the crowd, the whole Louisville bench is up.
And nobody is popping to the post to help them out. There you go.
There we are. Jumper, Stallworth off the front rim. Yeah, no legs at all. This one from way outside.
And now the domination. So it continues. Let them ring the bell and they come right at you.
Foul is called, and Williams. 57-39. It's slipping away from Morehead State today. All right, Greg, and as we come back here, there's a shot over the backboard by Preston Knowles, and that will result in Morehead State getting the basketball.
And the difficulty now, Vern, is how to score. They've had their difficulty with the pressure, and now the half-court set. Maybe we'll be in the right spot and then finish the deal. I thought he got hit, too.
Samuels again. Just with the rejection.
Just don't get anything easy for Harper that trip.
Terrence Williams.
Good hustle.
Fareed.
They won't give you that timeout anymore.
No.
The Jason Kidd rule.
Well, Fareed with a big smile dives into the corner. He's still after it, isn't he?
Isn't that great? That's what you want. Interesting. They went to their huddle earlier, and the coach said, hey, let's get in here. And they sprinted then, like, let's not have that bad body language. Let's keep going.
Kenneth Fareed, he's only a sophomore. Here's Sosa back in. And McGee behind the, in the front of the bench. Nice round of applause as he sits down.
How about Samardo? You think he took enough people down on that one? What a load. And that's when you get in trouble once in a while. Make a quicker decision. One bounce, give it up. Timber, huh? Oh.
Wow.
Big, strong, and tough.
That's the third foul on Samuels. DeMonte Harper, number 22.
Nice pass.
Buchanan fouled. Oh, that could be Samuel's number 4. Let's see.
Great execution. That's what you're looking for, too, Vern.
Sosa.
They had struggled finding spots to do some damage. That was excellent.
Leon Buchanan at the line, shooting 2. The Louisville number 23, Terrence Jennings for Savano Samuels.
How about those numbers? How the points off the turnover is so impressive. And really not turning it over this half, Louisville. They have been tough.
No, they forced him instead. One more for Buchanan.
Excellent free throw shooter at 80%, though. Do you think the country's catching up? When we talk about old leagues, power leagues,
Yeah.
this kind. Well, the even and the competitiveness in the tournament,
Right.
with exception, obviously.
Had a couple of exceptions last night. No, I do understand. I think that there's an evening. I'm seeing more seniors than we've seen in recent years.
Right.
And more juniors.
And I think those other programs, your Sosa with a walk,
Yes.
that's the reason.
They benefit, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking of Missouri Valley a few years ago when they had 6, 7 teams they were talking about all year long. Wichita State and so many others. And good basketball teams. Some kids had left other schools to get a chance to play. And then, as you mentioned, 4-year guys. And they just are tougher and experienced. They've been through the mill.
I don't think the quality overall is as good as it was, say, 8 or 9 years ago.
Well, the star might have left early, but there are really quality players.
But there's been an evening that is happy to see. See why the Mentalists is the new #1 new show on television this season. Simon Baker stars in the new episode of The Special Time, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on CBS.
And they're trying to claw back into this one now. They're not going to get much off their defense, so it's got to be good offensive ability. I don't think they can turn this team over. In fact, you don't want to speed Louisville up.
Free throw's good. 57-42, near the midway point of the second half.
Straight up man. Great presentation by Jennings there. Too easy, huh?
Off the glass and good.
Flexible. So many spots he can do damage.
17-point lead. It was 35-33 at the half. And this surge by the Cardinals fueled at the defensive end.
Clark much more alert this half, too.
Oh, how about that? Wow, what a pass. That was terrific.
Trickery. Jiggles.
Oh, my gracious.
Hanging one.
All of a sudden, he goes amphibious on us. Buchanan has 15 points.
Clever.
It really was. Back outside, Sosa for 3. There you have it.
And Williams not afraid to give it up either. They emptied that side, and pretty good defense made him kick it to the top.
Louisville 12 of 18 in this half. This reminds me what Rick Pitino was telling us yesterday. The first game, 79-41 between these two. He said we shot 27 in the first half, 67 in the second.
Unbelievable. And stepping it up. And he feels when they pass the ball, they shoot better. And I think that's the type of thing coaches, that's their ambition. Hit the open man kind of concept, Red Holzman from years ago.
They're right at 67% in this half. Preston Knowles. Yeah, nice effort by DeMonte Harper. There's for Reed.
Jennings not a great offensive player, but I think a valuable weapon for this team.
Terrence Jennings comes out defensively. For Reed, look at the battle. Oh, boy.
Is he okay?
Yeah, they're both up. And Fareed even manages to smile. He's wincing with a grin.
Nice hustle. That is great play by Stallworth. Not packing it. I love it.
Here's Shingles. Way outside. Way up high.
Well, they are competing now. Isn't this great?
Shingles. Putback is good.
And he wants a timeout now.
Donnie Tyndall wants to call timeout. They're within 14.
Good for him.
Great hustle by Morehead State.
And, you know, I reflect back to that timeout when they weren't hustling in. All of a sudden, the sprint goes on. Hanging tough, trying to creep back in.
.7:26 remaining in this one. Top-seeded Louisville leading by 2 at the half. Up by as many as 17. A little mini comeback now by Morehead State. Great enthusiastic effort by the Eagles. But it's still a 14-point mountain they must climb. And they have to do so in the final 7:26.
And here's their 2-2-1 kind of press. Diamond press, I should say. Now it's back to 2-2-1. Passive and protective.
Clockwork here?
Yeah,
Nope.
Yeah, you know, I mean, work for a good one. But they're such a good passing team. They can sprint to the high-low and get a quick one, too. They'll take that. I think it's a little too premature, don't you?
That's why I asked you.
And yet they're down to 10. So you may be right. I just think it's better defense caused the problem. And Rick calls the timeout with 6 on the clock.
Timeout.
6:56 remaining in the ball game. Sunday on CBS. Don't miss Time Magazine's #1 pick of the week, The Amazing Race. Sunday on CBS. And we're back to play with the shot clock at 6 and 6:56 to go in the ball game.
Got to drive it.
McGee.
Yes. Like that, huh? So many guys outside that can be creative with that and yet spot up and make a shot. Oops.
Yeah,
Squeeze the Charmin.
Got to hustle. Get it across. He just did.
Well, they are all over, though, aren't they? Look at the hands. They're just in there.
Stoneworth wasn't ready for the pass. Oh, dear. Interesting now, when McGee threw it away, Rick Pitino very calmly clapped his hands.
Right, yeah, he's
That's
more
the
about the defense, right?
Yep, absolutely. 6:19 to go. Donnie Tyndall's team behind by 16. He had a chance earlier this week to talk to this guy. You recognize him?
Oh, I sure do. Not the hairdo as much.
I know. Oh, Phil's going to hate us for putting that one on. I think you would.
What does that look? What is that look called? There's a name for it years ago.
There was?
Yeah.
How about Cookie, lend me your comb? Sunset Strip.
Well, he didn't play like a cookie. There was some competitor, let me tell you.
Phil Simms, great friend of all of ours and a wonderful analyst with Jim Nancy, NFL Today, and without question the greatest quarterback, football player, athlete to come out of Morehead State.
Just like the Giants as well to a ring.
Heard that.
I saw he actually got Parcells to smile. On occasion.
That reminds me of a great Walt Garrison story. Garrison was asked one time, Walt was the great fullback with the Cowboys,
Sure.
and he said, he was asked at a banquet, have you ever seen Tom Landry smile? And he said, no, but I've only played there for 9 years.
Well, I've seen Bill Parcells smile. I'm only kidding, actually, because those two put it all together.
In for the Cardinals,
Terrence Jennings back on for Samardo Samuels, who's been a huge force for Louisville tonight.
From the get-go, you picked it out the way he ran the floor real early, Vern. I mean, he was energized. With a team of energized people.
Off the glass, no good. Tipped, and Terrence Williams has it for Louisville.
And no hurry, and no reason to be in a hurry. Back screen and then the pop. Look at the length of Clark when he puts that hand up. I mean, he'd be great in church taking up the collection. Wouldn't he? Yeah, he could go right across the whole pew.
Doesn't need a broom handle
exactly.
on that plate. Oh, goodness. We are nearing the 5-minute mark in this one. 66-48, top-seeded Louisville, leading 16-seeded Morehead State. It was a very tough battle in the first half. Cardinals had only a 2-point lead at the break, 35-33. But defensively, they forced 8 quick turnovers for Morehead State and assumed the command of this game that they have not relinquished. They're up 66-48.
And you notice Buchanan's still hustling. I like that. This team for a minute or two just lost their concentration, but now they got it back a little bit, and the effort there. Look at this. Terrific.
Fareed. Jennings is going to get called for the foul.
And with Louisville, Fareed got it, but nothing Fareed with Louisville. Goodness, they just attack. He calls it. It's a pass to him, and he gathers and tries to complete the deal. He is aggressive for him.
Well, they say it's about effort, and there's no doubt when you see him play. Edgar Sosa is going to come on for McGee for the Cardinals. We have one more game here, Ohio State and Siena. 8 and 9 seeds, and the winner of that game will meet the winner of this one on Sunday afternoon or evening. First time in the Cardinals' long and glorious basketball history they've ever been the top seed overall. First time they've ever gotten the #1 vote in the AP poll. I found that
incredible, right?
Yeah, really.
Going back to the old days with Wes Unseld and on through Denny Crum's great teams.
Ball tipped.
Pretty play.
Oh, yes! And a foul.
When they get it to the right spot, their execution is proper. And a beautiful, catchable pass. Wow. How about this, Fern?
Yeah, you're looking at one of the great players in the history of Louisville basketball. Darrell Griffith led them to their first national championship over UCLA in 1980. Came back with Never Nervous Purvis and others, and they won against Duke in '86. And they're in quest of their third.
And you were saying never #1?
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
With that kind of...
Kenny Klein, who's a friend of all of ours, who's been the SID at both these schools, as a matter of fact.
Right.
SID meaning Sports Information Director. He served at Morehead State, and a long-time leader at Louisville came up with that one for us yesterday.
Darrell's some basketball player, though, talking about elevation and handle and jump shot. And, a little punishing turnover there by Louisville. And Rick applauding. Again, guard. That's what it's all about. Get on that end.
68-51, 3:22 to go in this one.
Great career with the Jazz, too.
Yes.
All right.
Fella could play. Denny Crum, of course, the coach. Little off-balance shot tipped by Jennings. Fareed is there to try and take it back and can't.
And Jennings, one of those guys, they turn around the rim, rebounds.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's one of those deals. Some guys have signals for that. With a fist, and I'm going to step and go. And Knowles, a guy that likes to stick the jumper. They don't want to get that back cut, get to the rim.
Some guys have signals after that pass is made.
Yeah, but coach has a signal for him.
2:46 to go. Oh, nice.
He can make them. So early do it. Hey, Mays.
Mays Stallworth. He had 3 3-pointers in the first half of play, the last of which gave Morehead State a 2-point lead. He's got 14 points in this game. Boy, Fareed still battling. Stepped around in front of Jennings and tipped the ball to his teammate.
A good defense and not a good entry. Could have centered the ball with a dribble. Nice hesitation.
Shingles. Yep. Preston Knowles for the Cardinals. 2:05 to go. So Louisville will advance, and the record is now going to show Number 1 against number 16, 100 to zip. Williams.
How about that? Great legs on that jumper.
Buchanan with the left. Jennings with a rebound. And Donnie Tyndall's going to do a nice thing now. He's going to empty his bench and let his subs come in, and they get in the box score. They will have participated in Morehead State's first appearance in the NCAA since 1984, as soon as there's a dead ball.
And we know how fast those years go on, and the memory will be there.
Here's Clark, and a foul. So Donnie Tyndall, when given the opportunity, is going to send a fresh 5 on the floor for 107. Tonight, Chevrolet players of the game for Morehead State: Kenneth Fareed, 14 and 11. Samardo Samuels for Louisville, 15 and 7.
Both coaches giving guys an opportunity to step on board.
There's only one starter as a senior. That's Leon Buchanan, number 33. And
that's
a nice scene at the Morehead State bench.
That's the emotion of this game that escapes a lot of people. There's a lot of affection and hard work and mutual respect between the staff and their players.
Swapshire gets the last 3, final minute of the game. Here's Cecil Brown, John Lamb, number 25. Robert Murray is number 10. Loose ball. Got by Derek Eccles, number 24. And the other fellow is Andreas Coleman. So we got all 5. If they've got a DVD of this, they can show it to their kids. Yes, I did play. Chased down by Robert Murray. And this is going to be traveling. Louisville takes on either Ohio State or Siena. That game going to be played here in Dayton 30 minutes after this one. So this one goes in the books. The final 74-54. The Louisville Cardinals advance, and we go back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Vern, so